Welcome back, you guys. In the past, we read Green Wilma. We enjoyed it. We finished the rhymes in the story. Well, Green Wilma's back. Okay, I'm going to read Green Wilma, Frog in Space. Okay, again, it's got rhymes for us to finish, but what I want to work on today is retelling a fiction story. So when we retell a fiction story, we've got three main parts we got to work on. We got to retell the characters, the setting. Remember, settings cannot always be places, but they can also be time. Is it in the daytime? Is it at nighttime? Is it in the winter, the seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall? So that can be a setting as well. And then we also have to tell what happened. We're going to want to tell what happened at the beginning of the story, what happened in the middle of the story, and what happened at the end. So let's remember all those things as we enjoy Green Wilma, Frog in Space. Green Wilma, Frog in Space. Okay, remember, we're going to retell the story to our families when we're done. So we got to remember the character, settings, and what happened at the beginning, middle, and end of the story. Green Wilma, Frog in Space. Ted Arnold. He's the author that wrote the words and the illustrator that drew the pictures. One morning, Wilma woke to hear a buzzing in the sky. She hopped into the air to catch a tasty little fly. What's that coming? An alien family landed, needing water for their ship. An alien child came out to play. He took a little dip. Finally, Green Wilma's breakfast landed on the ground. Carefully, she crept up, trying not to make a sound. Time to depart, sweetheart. Ooh, that's coming from the alien ship. Suit up for takeoff. Suddenly, the spaceship plucked her up into the air. It pulled her in, and then it rose and flew away from there. Who'd they forget? Poor Wilma at the window watched her little pond retreat. But then she heard her favorite words, "Time to eat!" I fixed your favorite Martian bugs, the alien mother said. But you can't eat until I take this helmet off your head. Fresh earth water. Pond water. Anyone? Eek! That's not their blue baby. It must have been the pond water that turned our blogger green. Just get some rest while we turn on the health-o-matic machine. Robot doctors tried to find out what the problem was. And only Wilma noticed a familiar little buzz. Very strange. She chased it all around the room and out into the ship. She hopped across the flight controls and things began to tip. Data indicates alien being. That's not blogger. The spaceship went from warp speed into Boogie Woogie Drive. It bounced off planets, circled stars, then fell into a dive. Green Wilma grabbed the nearest thing and held on to it tight. The ship flew back the way it came. Her home rose into sight. She went from forward to reverse, going back home. Back at Miller's Pond, poor Blogger hid inside a tree. But when he heard a sound he knew, he hopped outside to see. There. Overhead, the aliens booted Wilma out the door. They picked up little Blogger and departed with a roar. Green Wilma felt quite certain it had all been just a dream. No way had she gone up into space, as real as it might seem. Question. What's that? But what exactly was this thing that shot a pretty beam? That's the end of Green Wilma, Frog in Space. Okay, so we just finished Green Wilma, Frog in Space. Now we gotta retell it. We're gonna tell someone in your family the story. They don't get to watch this video. You gotta retell them. Remember, we need the characters, the setting, and what happened. Okay? So the main character is Green Wilma the Frog. She meets an alien family that comes down to Earth. Okay, so there's Green Wilma and there's the alien family. Then, where did it happen? Well, it starts off that she's right there in her pond on her log. Then she gets taken up into the spaceship and flies off into space. And then they return back to her pond at the end. And then what happened? Well, Green Wilma was, sitting at her pond, chasing around trying to get some flies when an alien ship came down. Their child came out to get some relaxation, some moving around, some water. But the ship accidentally took Green Wilma instead of the alien child and flew off. In the middle of the story, they were like, something's wrong with our child. He's changed from blue to green. Hadn't really changed. It was Wilma. And they used a machine to find out, but they found out Wilma was an alien. Well, for them an alien, because she was from another planet. And they took her back down to Earth. They threw Wilma out at the end, picked up their child, and flew back off into space. But they left one little thing that Wilma wanted to find out what it was. Pretty cool story. Green Wilma, Frog in Space. Bye-bye, guys.